Hello everyone. So let's continue from our AVLSI session number 3. So today's first topic will be revising the analog VLSI formula summary for MOSFETs. So let's begin with the current equation for NMOS. So we have the 4 operating regions. We have identified cutoff, deep triode region and saturation region. So here is the drain current for all the 4 regions given over here along with the condition. ID is also can be called as IDS, so it's written over here. And let's start with cutoff. So for cutoff, the drain current is 0, and the condition of the VGS voltage, it should be less than VTH. VTH is the threshold voltage of the MOSFET. Now the condition for the deep triode region, which is something new, ID will be given by mu n Cox W by L, VGS minus VTH into VDS. And the condition for the MOSFET in the deep triode region should be VGS should be greater than VTH and VDS should be less than or equal to twice VGS minus VTH. For the triode region, the current equation is given by ID is equal to mu n Cox W by L into VGS minus VTH into VDS minus half VDS square. And the condition of the triode region will be VGS should be greater than VTH and VDS should be less than VGS minus VTH. Remember, VGS minus VTH is also called as the uh, overdrive voltage. And for the saturation, the condition of VDS should be greater than or equal to VGS minus VTH. And in the equation form, it is written as ID is equal to half mu n Cox W by L into VGS minus VTH the whole square into 1 plus lambda VDS. Now, if the channel and modulation lambda is 0, then we don't have this term over here. We just have half mu n Cox W by L VGS minus VTH the whole square formula. Okay, so this is the current equations for a NMOS enhancement transistor in the 4 operating regions, that is cutoff, deep triode and the saturation region. Now let's check out the current equations for the PMOS transistor. Now the difference, the current equations are almost same with the minor changes. Instead of IDS, we call it ISD. Instead of VGS, we call it VSG. And VTH is negative, of course. So all the conditions remains the same. You just replace VGS with VSG and VDS with VSD. And VTH will be mod of VTH. Rest all the conditions remains the same as per the NMOS transistor. Okay, so these are the current equations for the PMOS transistor. You all can take a print screen of this. Okay, so let's move on with the other formulas. So we have derived the output resistance of a MOSFET in saturation. That is exact formula is given by 1 plus lambda VDS upon lambda ID, and approximate formula is RO is approximately equal to 1 upon lambda ID. Next, on-state resistance of the MOSFET in the deep triode region is given by the formula Ron is equal to 1 upon mu n Cox W by L VGS minus VTH. So that is what we have derived earlier. Overdrive voltage is written as VOV is equal to VGS minus VTH. Now, we have also derived the GM expressions. In fact, 3 different expressions we have derived. So GM in saturation without the channel and modulation will be given by, the first equation is GM is equal to mu n Cox W by L VGS minus VTH. Second equation is GM is equal to square root of twice ID mu n Cox W by L. And the third expression of GM is equal to twice ID divided by VGS minus VTH. So as per the applicability and the data given, these 3 equations can be used. So the first equation can be used if a value of only VGS is given. Second expression can be used if value of ID is given. Rest all parameters will be given. And GM third expression can be calculated whenever ID and VGS are given and all other parameter information might not be given. So we have to use them wisely as according to the situation. Now, with the channel and modulation, the GM value in the saturation is given by the first expression and the second expression is modified. So we have an additional 1 plus lambda VDS term. In the second expression also, we have an additional 1 plus lambda VDS term, whereas the third expression remains unchanged. With channel and modulation parameter, the value of transconductance in saturation. Now the value of transconductance of a MOSFET in triode region, we have derived it. So the GM value is mu n Cox W over L into VDS. So that's the formula for GM in the triode region. Now let's check the formula for the threshold voltage with body effect. So VTHO is the threshold voltage without body effect, and it's a constant, technological constant. So VTH formula will be given by VTHO plus gamma into square root of mod of twice phi f plus VF plus VSB, and here it will be minus square root of mod of twice phi f. So these are the values which we have got. Okay, this is the expression for VTH, correct? Don't make any mistake in the sign of phi f and VSB. Next is last formula will be of body effect coefficient. So gamma is given by the formula as square root of twice q epsilon Si into n substrate, the whole divided by Cox. N substrate, it will be either Na or Nd. In case of NMOS transistor, the substrate is of P type, so we will have Na. And in case of PMOS transistor, the substrate is of N type, so you will have over here Nd doping. And the unit of gamma will be, body effect coefficient will be V raised to half, that is square root of volt. So these are the various formulas which we have to keep in mind while solving various numericals based on MOSFETs. Now let's move on to the next part. Yeah. Okay. So for the second half, we will have today's topic as intuitive equations, questions, and the numericals on MOSFET. So let us start. For a MOSFET operating in saturation, how do GM and VGS minus VTH change if both W by L and ID values are doubled? Okay. So GM and VGS minus VTH, that is overdrive voltage, how they will change if W by L and ID value are doubled. Now, GM value in saturation is given by the formula twice mu n Cox W by L into ID. So if both W by L and ID are doubled, what will happen to GM expression? You will have 2 over here, 2 over here, so square root of 4, that is twice. So GM will be twice of the original value. So what we can write, if W by L and ID are doubled, GM is also doubled. Okay, let's come to the second part. Second part, we have to find out what will happen to VGS minus VTH if W by L and ID are double. So the expression of drain current is given by ID is equal to half mu n Cox W by L into VGS minus VTH the whole square. Okay, so we can rearrange the term as follows. VGS minus VTH will be twice ID divided by mu n Cox into W by L. So VGS minus VTH will be equal to square root of twice ID mu n Cox into W over L. Okay. Now what we are doing, we are changing the value, doubling the value of ID and doubling the value of W by L. So what's the effect? If you double the values in the denominator and numerator, it will cancel out. So what we can comment, the VGS minus VTH value after doubling the value of W by L and ID remains unchanged. Okay. So if W by L and ID are doubled, VGS minus VTH remains unchanged. Remains constant actually. So that's our equation. I mean the question number 1. Let's move on to question number 2. So for question number 2, we have this. NMOS has a transconductance equal to 20 milliampere per volt. Okay, and it is in the saturation region. Calculate the on resistance. Okay, now we know that GM in saturation is given by 1 upon R on. So that means GM can be written as 1 upon R on. So it's a very simple equation. R on will be 1 upon GM. That will be 1 divided by 20 into 10 raised to minus 3. And if you solve it in your calculator, that value will come out to be 50 ohms. Another point is over here that on-state resistance of the MOSFET is always in ohms. Okay, so now let us move on to the next part. So next part is given over here that for an NMOS, a 3 volt is applied between the gate and source. That means VGS is 3 volt and the threshold voltage is 0.8 volt. At what value of VDS will the MOSFET enter into saturation. So over here, they have given the value of VGS as 3 volt. The value of threshold voltage is 0.8 volt. At what value of VDS will MOSFET enter into saturation? Now remember, what is the condition for MOSFET to just enter into saturation? Its VDS value should be equal to VGS minus VTH. Okay, so that's the condition. MOSFET, when it enters the saturation, or we can call it, it is in the edge of saturation, it happens when VDS is equal to VGS minus VTH. Okay, so here we have VGS equal to 3 volt and VTH is equal to 0.8. So 3 minus 0.8, it will be 2.2. Fine. So this kind of simple numericals can be asked in the exam in the form of multiple choice or answer the question. Now, let's move on to question number 4. Any doubts so far in question number 2 and 3? I'll keep it steady for 5 seconds. Okay, let's move on to the next part now. Question number 4. Okay, so the question number 4 says that for a PMOS, so we have a PMOS now, applied gate to source voltage is -3. Remember, the gate to source voltage VGS is always negative for a PMOS. Threshold voltage is also negative, -1.5. Then the PMOS will enter into deep triad region at what value of VDS? So they are asking us at what is the condition for a PMOS, for which it enters into deep triad condition, and what is the value of VDS under that condition. So the given data is VGS is -3, but VSG is 3 volt and VTH is -1.5. Now we have checked out the condition for a PMOS to enter into deep triad region. That is given by VSD is equal to twice VSG minus mod of VTH. Over here, the VSG value is 3 volt. VTH value is 1.5. So 3 minus 1.5 into 2, that will be 3 volt. So VSD is 3 volt. So VDS will be equal to -3. I hope you're following it. So let's pause for some time and then we will move on to the next numerical. These are very simple numericals testing your basics. And don't ignore them. These are pretty important. Okay, next question is, for a MOSFET device, if channel and modulation is 0, the output resistance would be equal to. Now lambda is given as 0, and what is the RO formula given by? 1 upon lambda ID, approximate formula. So if lambda value is 0, RO value will go to infinity. Okay, so such simple kind of numericals can also be expected in your exams. So this is question number 5. Let's move on to question number 6. Okay, so this is a question number 6. Just concentrate. For an NMOS device, when VDS is changed from 3 volt to 5 volt in the saturation region, ID varies from 2.7 milliamperes to 3 milliamperes. Calculate the output resistance. Now, which formula you will use? Will you use RO is equal to 1 upon lambda ID? No, the value of lambda is not given, but the value of ID is given, but it is varied between a range. So let's come back to the basic definition of RO. How do you define RO? RO is defined as the slope of the output curve. I mean, 1 upon the slope of the output curve in the saturation region. So RO will be given by the formula delta VDS upon delta ID. Fine. So what is delta VDS? 5 minus 3 volt, and delta ID is 3 milliampere minus 2.7 milliampere. So it will be 2 divided by 0.3 milliamperes, and that will be giving us the value of RO as 6.6667 kilo ohms. So that's how we calculate the value of RO in the traditional manner. So I will keep it there for a few seconds and then I'll move on to the next topic. Okay. Next is, this is question number 7. For a PMOS with VS, source voltage connected to 4 volt, VDD is connected to 5 volt, and VG is connected to -1 volt. We have to calculate VSB. So the first thing which you do is draw a 4-terminal analog PMOS symbol. So here is my 4-terminal analog PMOS symbol. Your gate voltage is -1 volt. Drain voltage information is not given. Source voltage is connected to 4 volt and the body terminal is connected to VDD, that is 5 volt. Now, from this diagram, how can I write VSB? So VSB can be written as Vs minus VB. Vs is the source voltage and VB is the bulk or the substrate voltage, correct? So what is my VB connected to? 5 volt. So that means my VB is equal to VDD, which is equal to 5 volt. So very simple and straightforward. So in your integrated circuit also, the substrate material for a NMOS transistor is always connected to ground, and for a PMOS transistor, the substrate or the bulk material, I mean the bulk voltage is connected to the supply voltage, which is VDD. Always remember that. So VSB will be simply Vs minus VB, which will be 4 minus 5, that will be minus 1 volt. Okay, so with this we complete all the numericals which we have to cover today, but one more concept is remaining. So I'll keep this window open for 4 to 5 seconds and then I'll move ahead. Okay, so let's proceed forward. We will see that why this body effect is so very important. So remember, the source and the bulk or the substrate terminal in a MOSFET are not always combined together. Okay, are not always connected together. So let's consider this example. This example over here is from BVLSI, which is a 2-input NOR gate. Okay, so the interesting point over here is concentrate on the transistor M1, which is marked in orange color box, and transistor M2 with the input B marked in green color. So if you look carefully, it's okay, just wait a second. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Actually, the arrows were not marked. That's why I paused and restarted again. Okay, so concentrate on the PMOS transistor with the input A, which is M1. So if you see carefully, the source terminal and the source terminal over here is connected to VDD, as well as the bulk terminal is connected to VDD. So VSB for M1 is 0. Whereas if you see transistor M2 with the input B, your source terminal is not connected to VDD, whereas your body terminal or your bulk terminal is connected to VDD. That means there is a potential difference between the source and the bulk terminal. That means VSB is not equal to 0. Hence, M2 transistor suffers from the body effect. Now, what is this? Why it is so important? Why is this body effect so very important? So VSB will affect VTH. That means your threshold voltage will change. Let us see how. So these are the various parameters which are affected by the body effect, which is VSB. So as you can see the formula in the formula, VTH formula, your VSB term is there. Okay. So over here, if VSB is present and there is a potential difference and it has some value, your VTH gets affected. In fact, the VTH will increase. And the next, see the formula of RON. In RON also, we have a VTH term. So RON also gets affected. In GM expression also, there is a VTH term. Since VTH is changing, GM will change. And whenever VTH is changing, my drain current will also change. So ID changes. And if my ID changes, my RO will also change. So as you can see, it has a effect on most of the parameters of a MOSFET. So over here, if there is a body effect, that is if VSB is not equal to 0, it will affect my threshold voltage. It will affect my on-state resistance RON. GM will be affected, that is transconductance. Drain current will change. And finally, my output resistance RO will also be affected. So hence, analyzing the circuit with a body effect is extremely important. Okay, so let us see that now. So RON, RO and GM are utilized for biasing the MOSFET. Okay, why? Because in integrated circuit, in analog integrated circuit, MOSFET is used as resistors or constant current sources. So we bias them using the MOSFETs, right? So if RON and GM value changes due to body effect, the biasing conditions of these MOSFETs might change. Hence, we can say that the Q point can shift, and Q point shifting is undesirable condition. Okay, MOSFET might not operate in the proper region of operation. So every time, what is the learning from here? Every time when we do the analysis of MOSFET circuits, And we will identify which MOSFETs are suffering from body bias effect and will try to compensate for it. So first thing looking into an analog VLSI circuit is identify which MOSFETs are suffering from the body effect. So that's the learning, because body effect will have a significant effect on most of the parameters of MOSFET, like threshold voltage, R on, GM, ID, and subsequently RO. Okay, so I guess we have come to the end of this session. So let me keep this for some time so that if you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay, so that is all for this session. Next time we will start with our AVLSI lecture number 4. So thank you for your patience and have a good day.